Okay, now that we've confirmed that is working on the API, we're going to add some filter buttons, or sort buttons, I should say, that are going to appear on the right-hand side over here and give the users something to click on effectively. So let's close this stuff at the top. And we're going to go to our member list template to start with. And we also need to go to our member list component because we're going to use something from NGX Bootstrap again, and we're going to use a buttons module. So I'm going to look for buttons module inside here, and that's not working. So let's go to the documentation for Angular Bootstrap, and we want to take a look at buttons. And if we take a look at the examples, then we effectively want this kind of functionality, but we want the radio type. So where we can select and it updates the button to say it's been selected. And in order to use this, we're going to need to make use of the buttons module. And I've really come in here just to get the import for this. So I'm just going to copy the import from NGX Bootstrap buttons and paste that into the component here so that we have access to the buttons module. We do need this functionality when we want these kind of radio buttons in our template. So let's go back to the template, and we're going to put this still inside our form, but after the reset buttons, and we'll add a div, and we'll give it a class of cull, and then we'll add another div, and give this a class of btn-group, and we'll say float-end, and inside here we'll create a button, and this is going to be for last active, and let's bring the closing angle bracket down as we'll need to give this some properties. So this is going to have a type of button. The class is going to be btn-primary. The name is going to be order by, and we're going to be using an ng model with this. So we do need that name property. We'll give it a click event, and we'll say load members. We're going to use btn radio. That's what we get from our buttons module, and we'll specify last active. So when this is clicked on, effectively, this is going to be the value of the button that we're sending when we use the ng model. And we'll say square brackets and parentheses, say ng model, and then we'll say user params dot order by, and we need to create that property in our user params as well. So let's open up the user params .ts, and inside here we're going to specify order by equals, and we'll just give it a default value of last active. And back to our component, and then we're just going to copy the button we've just created. We'll copy this one below, and we'll just update what we need to, which is not much. We just need to change last active to created inside there. Everything else can stay the same apart from the label of the button, where we're going to say newest members. Okay, and then we need to go back to our member service because we need to pass this query with the order by up to our API. So we'll open up the member service, and inside here we need to append another param. So we're going to say params equals params dot append, and we're going to say order by, and then we're going to say user params dot order by. And with this in place, we should now be able to test this functionality. So I've got the matches of 7 of them, and we've got our sorted by last active, and Dave and Bob are the 2 users I registered. So I'd expect to see them at the front, and they'll also be the newest members as well. But let's see if we see any difference here. And we do see a couple of users switching around. So that gives me confidence this is working, but we'll check the females as well. And I've selected newest members, so I'll click last active, and we can see them shuffle around as well. So that appears to be working. But one thing that we also want to take a look at, if I go into the details view of a member, is these last active properties and the member since. then list last active property is not actually updating. We need to do something so that when a user interacts with our application, we do something to update this date. And we'll take a look at what we can do to achieve that next.